Okay, so I'm going to get a bit more into the book. Word of warning to y'all, this book has a very behavioristic view, so people with more of a humanistic or free will point of view, might want to burn it. But anyway, still stick to it, as most of it is recounting the Stanford prison experiment and review experiments done by others that deal with conformity. Let's see. The book starts by talking why people do evil things and stuff like rape of Nanking and a bit of Abu Ghraib. Then it jumps right into a day-by-day account of the experiment, which is surprisingly interesting. So in brief, the Stanford prison experiment starts when Zimbardo wants to study how prisoners adjust to their environment. He got 16 kids, about half were put as guards and the other half were to be prisoners. When asked before the start of the experiment, take note that all of the students wanted to be prisoners, mostly because ordering people around wasn't their thing. Anyway, so they started out by realistically arresting the students chosen as prisoners. Oh, an important note, this experiment was supposed to run for 2 weeks, but stopped after one for obvious reasons. Anyway, all starts out fine and dandy, but the guards quickly turn into sadistic bitches who make the prisoners sing their names or pick out burns from their blanket and a bunch of other stuff. Well, the prisoners could have left at any time, but it seemed they got lost in the situation, and none of them left. Some were dismissed because they pretty much went insane. After the day-by-day account, Zimbardo talks about the significance of the experiment. In that chapter there's a lot of analyzing the specific prisoners and guards and stuff like that. And after much apologizing over his experiment, then Zimbardo gets into my favorite chapter, investigating social dynamics. He talked about the Milgram experiment quite a bit. Surprising fact was that people predicted that only 1% of the people in the experiment would end up killing their student. Well, that statistic had 99% error. And I mentioned this experiment earlier, I think, in one of my comments. This Turkey dude named Lucifer Sheriff did this conformity experiment that eventually led to the Ashline experiment. He got a bunch of male colleges and one by room put them in a dark room that had a light showing against the wall. Thanks to the autokinetic effect, after a while the light began to move in the watcher's mind, even though it was really stationary. Then the solo man went into a group of men doing the same thing. And their opinion about how the light was moving gradually became near to the same as what the others were saying. I think this was more unconsciousness though. Then he talks about the Ash experiment, then the Milgram experiment. He also talks a bit about Jones, the third wave dude's experiment. He also talks about the famous brown eye blue eye experiment. I found that one very interesting too. Oh, and he talks about this one Halloween experiment and how the individualization of a group leads to lower morals and stuff like that. But anyway, enough of that. After that chapter he goes into the Abu Ghraib abuses. I didn't read too much into that, and after the chapter he talks about ways to fix the system, and I just kind of skipped that. Then he talks about heroes, which I haven't gotten to. Anyway, I give this book a 8 out of 10. I got some links to the side. On his website there's a cool article about de-individualization. The other has the book,